Today we are going to travel through the state of Vermont. Vermont was the 14th state to join the United States. During the American Revolution, Vermont declared independence separately from the original 13 colonies. Although the Continental Congress refused to recognize it, after 14 years as an independent republic, it joined the United States on March 4, 1791. You might be wondering, where is Vermont? Vermont is located in the New England region of the northeastern United States. The bordering states of Vermont are Quebec, Canada to the north, New York to the west, Massachusetts to its south, and New Hampshire to the east. Fun facts: did you know? Vermont was the first state admitted to the Union after the ratification of the Constitution. VT is a two-letter postal abbreviation for the state of Vermont. Montpelier, Vermont is the smallest state capital in the United States, with fewer than 9,000 people. Until 1996, Vermont was the only state without a Walmart. Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream Company gives their ice cream waste to the local Vermont farmers who use it to feed their hogs. The hogs like all flavors except mint Oreo. Vermont quarters were first issued on August 6, 2001. U.S. President Calvin Coolidge was the only president born on the 4th of July. He was born in Plymouth, Vermont on July 4, 1872. Vermont State Capitol building is one of only a few to have a gold dome. Atop the dome is the state of Ceres. In ratio to cows to people, Vermont has the greatest number of dairy cows in the country. Rudyard Kipling, living in Vermont in the 1890s, invented the game of snow golf. Montpelier is the greatest producer of maple syrup in the United States. Vermont's largest employer isn't Ben & Jerry's, it's IBM. With the help of our trusty travel guide, we had mapped out an itinerary of the things we wanted to see and do. The first stop was to the state capitol that is located in Montpelier, Vermont. Check out their state flag. The state was established on March 4, 1791. That was 233 years ago. Woo! That was a long time ago. While we were in the state capitol, we saw the state seal. We also saw the state quarter on display and were able to purchase some for our collections. Next, we looked at the state coat of arms and saw the state motto, which read, "Freedom and Unity." Then we read that the state slogan was also Freedom and Unity, and the state nickname is the Green Mountain State. We also read the state origin. Vermont came from the French explorer Samuel de Champlain, who called the Green Mountains of Vermont, Verdmont, which means Green Mountain, on his map in 1647. Then we looked at the state tartan. The color of the state tartan are yellow, blue, green, red, and white. Nice colors. Finally, we looked at the state official song for Vermont. In 2000, Vermont adopted These Green Mountains as the official state song, composed by Diane Martin and arranged by Rita Douglas Gluckstate, replacing the original state song, Hail to Vermont, that was written by Josephine Hoovey Perry, adopted in 1938. This song reads, "These green hills and silver waters are my home. They belong to me. And to all her sons and daughters, may they be strong and forever free. Let us live to protect her beauty and look with pride on the golden dome. They say home is where the heart is. These green mountains are my home. These green mountains are my home." After we left the Capitol building, Dad drove us to visit the Vermont State Landmark, the Justin Smith Morrell Homestead, located in Stafford, Vermont. He was a noted Vermont state senator for 31 years. He is recognized for sponsoring landmark legislation that helped establish public universities, the Land Grant Acts, and for framing the 14th Amendment that granted equal protection and rights to freed slaves. We enjoyed visiting his homestead and learning about his history. We traveled next to visit the Shelburne Museum. The museum includes 39 distinct structures on 45 acres. The museum has collections of art and Americana which span 4 centuries and includes some of the most outstanding examples anywhere of fine and decorative arts. Folk art, circus collections, textiles, toys, carriages, decoys, and more. We saw so many interesting and beautiful items. Mom and Dad purchased several items for our home. While at the museum, we also got to tour the Ticonderoga steamboat. It is the last walking beam side-wheeled passenger steamer in existence. When it was in operation, it was used as a day boat on Lake Champlain, serving ports along New York and Vermont shores until 1953. It was very interesting, and we enjoyed touring through the ship. Later that day, we visited the Calvin Coolidge homestead located in Plymouth Notch, Vermont. John Calvin Coolidge Sr. and his family operated the town's general store and lived in a small cabin behind it. His son, John Calvin Coolidge Jr., grew up and became the 30th President of the United States. He was the only president to have been born on the 4th of July. The homestead was a very educational place to visit. The next day, our family visited the Robert Frost homestead located in Ripton, Vermont. It is where American poet Robert Frost lived and wrote in the summer and fall months from 1939 until his death in 1963. Robert Frost was a noted poet who wrote 11 volumes of poetry and won 4 Pulitzer Prizes. Next, we drove through Smuggler's Notch, which is a mountain pass in the Lamoille County, Vermont. The notch separates Mount Mansfield, the highest peak of the Green Mountains, from Spruce Peak and the Sterling Range. Most of the notch is in Mount Mansfield State Forest. It is a beautiful scenic drive. Our final visit of the day was to the Marsh-Billings Rockefeller National Park, located in Woodstock, Vermont. It is the only national park to focus on conservation history and the evolving nature of land stewardship in America. We enjoyed walking on the guided tours by the park rangers. It was a fun and educational place to visit. We spent several hours touring the home property and the park surrounding it. The next day, we visited the Shelburne Farms, located in Shelburne, Vermont. It is a well-preserved example of an ornamental farm. The farm has continued a deep commitment to the sustainable agriculture, healthy local food systems, and above all, to education. We learned so much by visiting the farm. Dad brought along his trusty binoculars, and we each looked at the state bird while at the Shelburne Farm, which is the hermit thrush. We also found lots of the state flower growing in a nearby field, which is red clover. It is so beautiful. We also saw many of the state trees growing on the property, the sugar maple. In the spring and summer months, the leaves are green. In the fall months, the leaves turn a beautiful orange color before they fall off the trees in the winter months. One of the guides at the farm told us that the state soil is Turnbridge Soil Series, and on the farm, one of the crops they grow is the state vegetable, the gill feather turnips. The tour guide also told us that the state mineral is talc, which is used in items like talcum powder, baby powder, blush, and eyeshadow. He then showed us one of the state rocks, which is granite. Granite is used in items like countertops, floor tiles, paving stones, curbing, stair treads, building veneers, and cemetery monuments. The tour guide also showed us 2 more types of Vermont state rocks. The first rock was marble. It is used in buildings and monuments, interior decorations, statuaries, tabletops, and novelties. The second rock was slate. It is used in electrical panels, laboratory tabletops, roofing, flooring, and blackboards. Before we left the farm, we saw several of the state animals, which is the Morgan horse. What a beautiful animal. We also learned that the state heritage livestock is the Randall lineback cattle. They had a huge herd of them on the farm. On our last day in Vermont, we visited the Mount Shire Museum of Science. The museum was located in Norwich, Vermont. While at the museum, we saw the state marine fossil, the beluga whale skeleton. It was so exciting to see it up close. We also saw the state terrestrial fossil of the Mount Holly mammoth tooth and tusk. We loved to see the model of the Mount Holly mammoth. The guide at the Science Museum told us that the state insect is the honeybee. Honeybees are very important to people and the environment because they pollinate food crops. We also got to tour a butterfly room and saw hundreds of butterflies and learned that the state butterfly is the monarch butterfly. We learned they are important because of their seasonal migration. Millions of monarchs migrate from the United States and Canada south to California and Mexico for the winter. How amazing! Next, the guide showed us the state reptile, the painted turtle. Painted turtles have very distinct heads. The face has only yellow stripes with a large yellow spot and streaks behind each eye, and on the chin 2 wide yellow stripes that meet at the tip of the jaw. As with other pond turtles, the painted turtle's feet are webbed to aid them with swimming. My brother then spotted the state amphibian, the northern leopard frog. Northern leopard frogs are important for the environment because they transfer nutrients between terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems. Our guide next showed us an aquatic exhibit on the state coldwater fish, which is the brook trout. They can be found in small streams, rivers, beaver ponds, and large lakes. He also showed us the state warm water fish, which is the walleye. Walleye fish have whitish, glossy eyes that help them see through murky and dark waters. They are the largest fish of the perch fish family. We learned that in order to catch these fish, many of the local fishermen fly fish, and they use the state fly fishing fly, the Governor Aiken bucktail fly. My dad found a display and purchased several to take home with him. The museum had a restaurant and gift shop, and we were able to purchase a big glass of the state beverage, milk, as well as some of the state pie, apple pie. Both tasted delicious. We were also able to purchase a basket of the state fruit, which is the Macintosh apple, as well as the state flavor, which is the maple syrup. We can't wait to try both of these purchases when we get home. We had a great time on our trip to Vermont, and we are already planning to come visit again one day. If you get a chance to visit Vermont, I hope you'll do so because they're a great state with a lot to offer. Until then, goodbye! Thank you for learning with me today. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel and share us with your friends. We hope you'll join us again soon for another lesson on Wonder of Learning. Until then, bye-bye!